What's going on, Aries? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a phenomenal month so far. So for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Aries. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. And let me tell you why, Aries, because it is Celestial News Monthly. I know, right? It's like the... I hope you get it as geeked up as I do, Aries, for this, especially for the monthly videos, because it's just like, I don't know, something about this, the monthly spread just really just sends me through the roof, so. But with this monthly spread, whenever the sun moves into a new sign, we're going to talk about where the planets are at and how we can work with the energies. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Aries. So Aries, I have oracle cards with the zodiac signs that each of the planets and the sun are in. I'm gonna pull. Well, you're gonna chill. I'm gonna pull an oracle card for each one of them, and then we'll get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? Thank you. And in case if y'all were curious, the decks I'm working with. Oh, I gotta include this one. I've included most of them down there except for the one. Down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. I'm getting myself. I just got off a little mini vacay there, so I'm getting myself together. But also down in the description box below is some links for some other readers that I like watching. So definitely check them out. I think you'll definitely love them, Aries. So, but before we jump into this, to your first card here, let's talk about the party that Virgo's getting ready to throw. Because you got the Sun entering Virgo, and then Mercury's gonna be doing a retrograde dance in Virgo sign. You know, it's about that time. We always love a good old Mercury retrograde. But the sun is going to be entering Virgo on the 23rd of August, and that'll be around 4 a.m. Eastern time. And then we'll be there through the 9th of the 23rd of September. And with this energy, Aries, this is great for really like polishing your skills, getting organized. And if you've been feeling compelled to be of service, do any kind of volunteering, anything along those lines, be of service to the community. Because Virgo is Virgo's very detail oriented, analytical. It's very they're the opposite sign of Pisces, and where Pisces deals with that more kind of spiritual realm, Virgo deals with like the day-to-day type of stuff. So this is also great energy for, establishing some good healthy routines and along those lines, but really just a great energy for just getting stuff, if you, especially things have been feeling in kind of disarray and things along those lines, to just kind of help things get your kind of more kind of well, how do I want to put this? Sort of like your earthly affairs back in order here, Aries. And then on the same day, Mercury, their ruler, is going to be going retrograde on the 23rd and will be retrograde into the 15th of September. And with this, you might, considering that Virgo deals with also kind of like your, not necessarily your careers, but more so like your day-to-day jobs, kind of like that sort of things, you may notice some delays on the job or maybe even some missed deadlines. Also, Virgo deals with health as well. And this is not medical advice or anything, Aries, but just pay attention to any sort of health issues or anything along those lines. Just making sure we haven't been maybe we've been kind of been really busy with just life or whatever that's looking like. So make sure that we're getting enough rest, or that we're eating properly, getting enough food, or, not overindulging, things along those lines there, Aries. But it's also great for reviving any kind of like old projects or ideas that you might have left unfinished, anything like that. So something to do while we're working with this energy here. But let's see what your first card is here. Oh, I like that. Looks like we're taking a risk, because you got the second card of Sagittarius here, which is the dice card. And with this card, this is a card of gamble, taking a risk, luck, playing games, chances are, roll with it, random results, win-loss, uncertain outcome, playing the game, potential, fate, and what happens next. And the energy that's coming through here, Aries, is the random results. And that's interesting. So I'm wondering with this energy, if some of us, if we've been in this, it almost feels like a going with the flow type of energy, but less organized is what this kind of feels like. It's sort of like almost like kind of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. And there's even like a lack of, and I'm not sure if it's just if we're getting in this place of maybe our, maybe for some I'm almost getting like this energy of like there's like our backs are against the wall. Maybe we're just literally trying anything to try to get something to happen here. But for some I'm feeling like it's like there's a need to maybe kind of really sort of hone in on what we're doing, as opposed to maybe dealing with, as opposed to like maybe shooting so broadly, if that makes sense, because when I think about Sagittarius, they're Sagittarius are Jupiter ruled. They're all about expansion and things along those lines. And we're talking about opposites. Their opposite is Gemini, and Gemini is a little more kind of focused on the details and things along those lines, getting the building up the, yeah, kind of like building up the details and like be like a more kind of honed focus approach. And that's what I kind of feel like is what's needed for some. It's like a more intentional, or maybe this is something where we could even might need to maybe reach out to maybe either some friends or maybe like a mentor, just someone maybe we can get some advice if we've just been just kind of rolling the dice, and it's like if we haven't been getting the results that we want, it's just like how can we change this from just being a bunch of randomness to a little more just kind of controlled type of results here. Because I get we can't be in control of everything, but I feel that we can get the energies in the direction that we want to go if we have that clear intention. It's not to say maybe that you don't, Aries, but it does seem like that there's, because it's very different than just kind of going with the flow. It's just like this almost feels like that we really are just kind of all over the place, maybe even a little bit or something along those lines. And let me get some tarot on that, get some more details on this, Aries. Let's see what's going on here, Aries. Thank you. Yep, you stay there. All right, Aries. So you have the Five of Swords, the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Cups, and then the Three of Pentacles here. And with this energy, I kind of feel like maybe for some, with the Five of Swords being here, it's like I almost feel like that we've been trying to maybe we've been seeking the advice from, it could be from other people or maybe from just like a bunch of different sources. Like let's say for example, if we're thinking about what we want to do for like our careers, for example, it's like, maybe there are a bunch of different tasks that we want to do, and it's like it's not that the dreams are random, but it just seems like the approach or something is just like random. It's just like it's like we're dipping, it's like we're just, it's like we're dipping our hands into a bunch of different cookie jars, and just like it's just like kind of trying things out and just sort of seeing where things are going, like trying what maybe others, maybe either like, it's like trying what maybe others are saying would be good for us, or not necessarily even that, but it's just like what others may, let's say if we see like someone who's like a really accomplished, like let's just throw a lawyer out there for example, and it's just like, oh, I wonder what that's like, and then we go to try this thing but it doesn't quite work out, and it's just like we see someone who's like a accomplished chef and like, oh, let's see what that looks like, and we try that, and then pick an occupation and go, and that doesn't necessarily have to be with jobs, this could be with a number of things, but I do feel with the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands here, there's a need to kind of follow your heart here, to kind of find a passion that if we were to, because maybe the reason that we're not getting the results that we want is because it's not, it may not even just be the sense of the passion. It's just like the follow through with it. It's just like it's fun until it loses the appeal, until it really, I don't know, until like the work really starts to pile on, and then we may just kind of push it to the side and maybe jump to something else. It's the energy that's kind of feeling that's going on here, and we're becoming this like, jack of all trades, or master of none in a sense here, Aries. And I think I'm gonna get a little bit more with this Five of Swords here. Let me get a little bit more of that before we get into that, Aries. Interesting. Okay. So the Five of Swords is clarified by the Death card and the World, Aries. And to me, Aries, this kind of feels like that maybe for some, we've gotten to this place where all of this randomness and things maybe has led us to this place of, and I don't feel like it's that you're necessarily struggling, but it's just like that we don't have this solid foundation that we want, and I feel that there's a need to kind of change up maybe how we're approaching these things, as opposed to just like maybe just sort of just kind of going out there and just trying any old thing. I feel like there's a need to maybe just to kind of commit to one, and it's not necessarily limiting yourself. It's just like seeing things through to fruition and seeing what type of things that sort of yields, and then after the World is the Fool, and then new opportunities kind of open up for you here, and then it becomes less random and it becomes more of a sequence as opposed to, because I'm almost even getting like an Eight of Wands sense, where it's like we're just kind of, the energies are just sort of, they're moving, but it's just all over the place right now. There's just a need, I feel like, just for a little more structure, a little more discipline, or something along those lines here, Aries. Because the World, that's Saturn energy. Saturn, he's a bit of a hard ass when it comes to that type of stuff. But Saturn is can be a planet of discipline and putting in that hard work. They rule over Capricorn and Aquarius. And yeah, I just kind of feel if we've been in just, this, because it almost feels like even with the Death card that it's been a lot of change that may have been going on with us maybe over the last, who knows how this is looking like, or maybe if we find ourselves where things are starting to get a little all over the place in the future, if the change is getting a little out of control, then I feel like, again, I need to kind of pause and reflect and just kind of work out a game plan as far as like what's happening next. What are we doing? Let's write some of this, because I like how both of these got their scrolls out here. Like, it's like, let's write some of this stuff down, see like what things have been working, what hasn't been working, and then maybe even once we get some stuff kind of more kind of honed down, or kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? There was a good word I had for this, but it's like once we get that list kind of narrowed down a little bit, then we can kind of seek the perspectives and the ideas and the guidance maybe from some others or something along those lines. But very interesting energy here, Aries. All right, I think I'm gonna leave that there but yeah, I hope that made sense. That was a very interesting start there, Aries. All right, let's move on from that. Let's get some tea, and then let's talk about Leo energy. Because with Leo, got Venus that's been retrograde in Leo for a while. She's just been making herself at home. Because Venus is going to be retrograde in Leo until the 3rd of September. And with Venus being retrograde, this is a great energy for really kind of discovering your inner artist, and finding different mediums and ways of expressing yourself. Leo's very creative, very yeah, it's very, very creative, very charismatic type of energy. And Venus also deals, one of the aspects that she deals with is art as well. And so this really is a great time for self-expression and really kind of building up your self-confidence as well there, Aries. Just really fantastic for that. And you may notice too, because Venus deals with relationships as well, it's not that you can't find love or anything along those lines, but the energy does tend to slow down just a little bit. So just something to consider there as well. And now, depending on where your Aries placements are at, this is going to be forming a trine with your sign. And trines are very fortunate energies there, Aries, because it's going to it's a very harmonious aspect. It creates opportunities. The flow is just a lot smoother, like removes obstacles out of your ways. Like it's like luck is almost improving in a sense. So this is a great, pay attention to these opportunities. That's why I feel like with this random results that was coming through, I feel like this is a time, and maybe we've noticed that things have been kind of just maybe flowing a lot faster than we thought, and we're just like kind of, again, maybe just sort of all over the place trying to find out where we want to go with this stuff. So I feel like while we're in this energy, really kind of hone in and just kind of make the most of this opportunity. And listen, it's not to say that once Venus is out of Leo that this is going to pass, but it's a lot easier to tap into this energy now when it's most potent, as opposed to when we get into like a square or an opposition type of aspect, when things get a little bit trickier there. But let's get another oracle on this. Oh, Smells, look at you, speaking of Leo and all this heat coming through. You got the 5th card of Leo's here, which is the Dynamite card. And with this card, this is a card of excitement, passion, action, suspense, destroy, powder keg, fantastic, energetic, breakup, catalyst for change, explosive, short fuse, firecracker, blast, sudden, unexpected, and fast. An energy that's coming through here, Aries, is the catalyst for change. And look at you. And just thinking about your sign, you really do have a way, I feel, of really kind of lighting a fuel under everyone. I feel like Aries energy is, like, even when I think about like the Emperor and things and Mars and stuff like that, to be able to know how to intuitively it's just like how to make a move and get the energy. It's like when something's just like, yes, let's do it. It's like, when it's that time, it's like, let's do it now, and that's what I kind of feel is kind of happening. We are in a really, really kind of potent energy right now. The energies are really shifting in a way that if we want to change any sort of aspects of our lives, Aries, that we can, and I really feel like that realization is kind of coming through. I was just talking with someone about, they're just starting up their own kind of business, and, they were saying how they want to kind of break away from like kind of corporate America and kind of have their more sort of like control over their lives and things, and, and then trying to inspire others and, things along those lines. And I feel like we really are in a time of inspiration. And fire signs are very inspirational. I remember watching a reader who's an Aries, and I was actually watching a Leo reading, and because I got a whole bunch of Leo in my chart, and it was something about the way, there's just the delivery. It was just like, I can't explain it. I mean, you know what it is, Aries, that you light a fire in a way that I feel like if you could really learn when you really learn to just kind of hone that in and like really get that, not even just for yourself but for others too, it really does have this like this ripple effect that can be something phenomenal. It's just like how, I mean, you usher in the spring, and that's a big deal. You know, we're coming out of hibernation. You're waking everybody up, and I feel like that's what the world is going through right now. People are starting to really kind of wake up to the shifts and becoming more attuned with themselves and what they really want, and kind of following their hearts. You know, Knight of Cups, Knight of Wands, and yeah, we really are in a time, and we're getting ready to get into the age of Aquarius. You know, with Pluto moving there next year, and a lot of innovative stuff is getting ready to come. And I know this is down the line, Aries, but I do feel that 2025 is going to be a very interesting one for your sign as well, because Saturn and Neptune are going to be moving into your sign at towards the beginning of the year of 2025, and I think it's going to be something. It's going to be a mixed bag for sure, but I do feel that it's one that if you know where if we're trying to raise the vibration, it's all going to balance out in the end. But let's get some tarot on this, get some more details, see how you're about to be an inspiration here. Aries. Thank you. Let's see what we got going on here. All right. So you have and look at all these knights you're racking up. And I like that because you have the Knight of Swords, what else we got here? The Four of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, the Ten of Wands, and then the Nine of Cups here, Aries. And I feel like with this, where do we want to start? So with the Knight of Swords here, I feel that for some, if we have been in this energy of where we want it to be this almost like beacon for change is what's like kind of coming through is kind of coming through here. I almost feel like for some that there may be this sense of doubt, or maybe this sense of, it's either a doubt that's coming through from ourselves, or maybe it's something that maybe some others have said to us. Like maybe we've had this kind of grand idea of how we want to change things or something along those lines. But you know, maybe we've had some ideas that come through like, well, how are you going to shoulder the burden of that, you know? And it doesn't necessarily have to be like you're becoming some sort of like leader or anything along those lines, but it's just like, you know, maybe you want to, you know, do something bring change into like your home space, for example, even something as small as that. Or you know, maybe you want to do something for your community, but you know, maybe it's just like I mean, the Ten of Wands is almost, it's giving me kind of like a mixed bag. It's not like the typical sort of like heavy burdens. It's like, I feel like it's something that you want to take on, but yeah, it's like there's this sense of doubt, or is that, or make it's like even maybe we might even, that's interesting, because I almost feel with the Four of Pentacles, it's like we may even be kind of selling ourselves short about what we can really accomplish, about what you really have in your reserves here, Aries, like what you can really kind of tap into here. And I feel that if you were to have this sense of, and it's not that I don't feel that you're not confident, but there's like, I feel like there is a more, I almost feel like it's more of paying attention to, like when you start to take on this energy, it's like I feel like it's almost just like it's that we want to do it, but it's just like, how can we sustain it? You know, how can we keep the energy like balanced? What do we need to put into this thing to get back the same type of results and get that sense of fulfillment here, something along those lines. But let me get a little bit more with this Nine of Cups here, Aries. Okay, so the interesting. So the Nine of Cups is clarified by the Seven of Cups and the Seven of Swords. And that's what it feels like. I feel like that you really have more options, or more that you can create more like opportunities, I feel like, for yourselves and for others here. But I feel like that it is, maybe it's taking that there's something here about committing more to something. It's like we might be, it's like how we're talking with the random results. It's like we're kind of feeding into maybe sort of like random things, but if we were to really kind of hone in and kind of learn more, accumulate more kind of resources, and really kind of get more of really kind of sharpen, I don't know, really kind of sharpen our skills in this one thing, it would broaden a bit. It would help broaden a little bit more, because like maybe we're trying to, like, you see how this guy's like, he's got this four swords that he's carrying here, he's got his one sword that he's carrying here, but he's got still two more that he's kind of leaving behind here. And I feel like that maybe for some we might even want to consider, maybe even thinking about maybe like a partnership, and whatever it is that you want to be a change for, maybe if this is like maybe if let's say in the home space, let's say we felt like maybe we're not feeling connected with family as of late, maybe it's reaching out. It's just like, hey, how about we get talking with some others? It's just like, how do we get some things settled up? Or if this is like a community thing, maybe maybe posting some stuff around, I'm not sure, Aries. It's like maybe it's like getting more acquainted, maybe setting up some type of stuff. And I know that may seem like a lot to kind of take on here, but I feel that it's not going to be as much of a burden or as much work as we might think it is, or something along those lines. It's just that getting that initial start is, I feel like, is the hardest part when it always comes to starting something new, or initiating a new type of change. Or but it's like, really, once you get that ball moving, then you really start kind of syncing up with the energies, and then everything just starts falling into place more. And then the obstacles start moving. There's that trine energy, and it starts, because you'd be surprised, Aries, especially when it's something that you're really passionate about, and you feel like in your heart of hearts that this is what you want to do, and this is what you're trying to accomplish. And really kind of tuning in there to higher self and things. It really can be a wonderful thing there. But I do feel that I am also kind of getting with this, that considering got all these sevens here too, that because it's I've been doing so much in astrology and things, I kind of stepped away. I've done a little studying in numerology, Aries, so definitely check my don't take my word for this, but if I'm remembering correctly, that the sevens in numerology is one aspect of it, that it deals with like kind of like sacrifice, and sort of like that and the only reason I bring that up is just like with the Six of Pentacles, that maybe for some it's like, maybe we're having troubles even like realizing this change or something like that. It's just like it's paying attention to like even like the people, maybe considering like these knights, that because the knights to me, like, they're the ones that are they're getting things they're getting the things moving, they're keeping the energies going along. And if we're finding energies or situations and things along the way that are hindering that process, that are not necessarily giving back what we need to get to this stuff, then there's some things that need to change in that aspect as well. But all right, Aries, I think I'm going to leave that there. But this even lasts a little bit there, since we got the dice card here, you got 3 7s. I feel that, you really kind of work with these energies. That could be some really wonderful changes here on the horizon. But let's, let me get your knights in order here. Let me get these cards organized, and then let's talk about your opposite sign, Libra. And your ruler, because that's where your ruler's chilling. Because Mars is going to be in Libra from the 27th of August and will be there through the 11th of October. And with this, this is a great energy for creating new alliances and strengthening existing ones. Libra deals with that. One of the aspects that Libra deals with is those one-on-one connections. Really kind of forming those bonds, whether that be romantic or otherwise. You know what I mean? And you may notice too that you might be feeling a little more friendly and more thoughtful towards others, and is really great energy for diplomacy as well. So something to think about there. But we also want to be mindful of repressing our feelings in order to keep the peace. It's one thing to not want to rock the boat, but if we find that maybe others might be taking advantage or something along those lines, we just want to be just pay attention to that type of stuff well as there, Aries. And then depending on where your placements are at, this is going to be forming an opposition with your sign. And now oppositions are a little tougher than one of the more tougher aspects, because they form it's polarities. When you're trying to integrate two opposite things together, it creates tension and it creates some challenges and conflicts. It's usually either like a situation or a person or something will put you in a situation where you need to make some decisions. And so just want to kind of pay attention to going to be definitely like a lot of energies of a lot of choices. I feel like that are going to need to be, well, not a lot, but there are definitely going to be some choices that are going to be made, and may not be the easiest ones, but we want to do the ones that are going to yield the most, the highest possible results. So something to think about there too, Aries. But let's get some tarot, or get an oracle on this. Alrighty. So, interesting. So you got the 6 card of Virgos here, which is the sap card. And with this card, so I'm going to move this back a little bit, Aries, make a little more space. And then with this sap card, this is a card of resources, needed materials, flow, wealth, essence of life, spring, blood, nourishment, sweetness, energy, vitality, grounded, roots, abundant, physical health, and life force. So the energy that's coming through here, Aries, is the vitality. And I feel that we want to be mindful of how, especially when I was kind of talking about like how if we have like either like a situation or maybe people or something that may be kind of impeding the process of change and things along those lines. Because if we keep working in those energies that slow us down, that does just sap from your energy and saps, and it's just like it takes away from that reserve, takes away from those resources. So just if you notice something that when you put your energy into something, it just lowers your vibration, or just like you know those things, like like how sometimes And this is not me telling you to quit your job. This is just an example, Aries. Like, have you ever been in those situations like where you kind of wake up and it's just like, oh, I gotta go to work again today, and not even just like we just, it's different when it's just like man, I could use a vacation. It's more of just like, I really don't like this about it, this about it, this about it, but I have to because of blah 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 or this and that. There's no other way for me to get out of this thing. If it's something along those lines, then I feel that, and again, I'm going to tell you to quit your job, but it may be something that we want to maybe think about how an adjustment may improve our energies in the long run here. And it may be uncomfortable at first, if this is a job, for example, where, like going in that transition phase that of, in between jobs can be a little stressful at times, but is it really worth the stress that we're in right now? Or maybe even in like a relationship, whether this be familial, friends, or love. If something is, or someone is, yeah, just kind of, where you're always kind of giving and giving and giving, but there's nothing that's coming back to you, Aries. Then again, it's not that we necessarily need to cut off people, but it could be where we're definitely need to put up boundaries. Just kind of thinking with that Seven of Wands, making sure that we are protecting that energy, because yours is a very, I feel too, just, you really do have an abundance of like creativity and things, Aries. One of my nephews, he's an Aries, and I mean that boy just cranks all the time. This is just prolific, and so, I feel like, yeah, just make sure that you are protecting that life force, Aries. That's something special there. But let's get some tarot on this. See what's going on here, Aries. All right, we got four of a kind here, Aries. I'm with it. So you got the Four of Swords, the Six of Wands, and then the Knight of Pentacles here. And let's talk about the Knight of Pentacles. Because I feel like with the Knight of Pentacles, because for me, all the Knights are the fixed signs. And fixed energy is, they're the ones that they may have trouble starting things up, but when they do, they commit to it wholly. They're gonna see it through. And I feel that there's a need maybe for some to just kind of slow down for a second and kind of see how, if something has been either, if something has either been kind of like just like weighing down on your mind, or been preventing you from, I don't know, it's like it's either been affecting your creativity, or you've not maybe been feeling as inspired, or you've just been feeling kind of I don't know, maybe even kind of irritable is what's kind of coming through, or something along those lines. It's kind of low energy that's coming through. I feel like this energy is a great sort of like reevaluation of how the journey has been going along for you so far. Because the Six of Wands is a card of accomplishments here. And if we're not feeling very well about where we're at in life, I feel like it's checking in on how we've been investing in things so far. Because, the Knight of Pentacles for me can be, I remember reading in another deck where, and I really liked how they put it for him. It's just like if you fail to, or if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And it's almost kind of feeding off this random results here. I feel like for some, it's like maybe this it's like our energies have been like, for some, it's like it's almost been like guided by others, possibly. That it's been, or maybe the ideas of something else that, where we may want to like emulate someone, and I'm all with that, but it's just like I feel there's a need to really kind of find who you really are and really do something that you do, like, let's say for example, like with tarot and things, like there are however many tarot readers out there, Aries, and it's hard to kind of stick out in the crowd and keep that staying power and things, but it's just like, find once you find your unique voice and find out how you can stick with that, then it changes things a little bit. It helps. I feel like it helps drive. It makes the energy worth it in the long run. But if we're trying to copy others, then I feel that it it just it goes. I feel like it just kind of goes against what you're meant to do, or how you're meant to do it, or something along those lines is what I'm kind of getting with this. But yeah, that's very fascinating that you would get all these nights. And I do feel like for some others, maybe that there's this need to, because the Knights too. Again, like I feel like the Knights, they're about that action. Taking that. And I don't know, Aries. I feel like that maybe for some, it's just like the energies may have been feeling like it's time for a change. It's time to get out and start something new, to really kind of start an adventure. Because the Six of Wands, where yes, it's a card of accomplishments, but there's usually the person in the Six of Wands are returning from they're returning from a long journey, and it's hmm. And I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking about this, Aries, just because the Six of Wands. This is Jupiter and Leo, and I almost feel that there's. It's like when we start this thing, if we were to start up a change or start a new endeavor or something along those lines, if that's something that you've been thinking about, that I feel it would bring you this energy where you can share this experience with others. And Jupiter and Leo's is like, it's a very generous, very giving energy, and I feel like it's one where you go through these challenges and these hardships and these victories and things that it'll, again, it would spark. You'd become a catalyst for change. So, all right, but I think I'm gonna leave that there, Aries. I hope that made sense. Interesting. All right, but let's get a little more tea, and let's talk about Taurus energy, because you got Jupiter and Jupiter and Uranus have decided to go retrograde in Taurus. Uranus is going to go a little retrograde a little earlier than Jupiter. Let's talk about Uranus first, because Uranus is going to go retrograde on the 28th of August, and will be retrograde until the till next year, the 27th of January, 2024. And with this is a cycle to embrace, like, more novel ideas, and to think about how you want to contribute to society, because Uranus rules over they're the modern ruler of Aquarius, along with Saturn. But um but Aquarius energy is about the collective, and thinking about how society, how we can really kind of change the world here, Aries, in a sense. And especially you being a catalyst for change here, I feel like something something to really think about there. You can really make an impact here and really start thinking about, you know, what your game plans are. And it's not to say that you got to have this figured out right now, but it's just like it's just getting in that mindset there, Aries. But also on a more kind of global standpoint, you know, because Taurus energy deals with that security, stability. Also deals with that, can deal with like they're a sensual sign, you know, they deal with the five senses, you know, and that can cover like, you know, since, you know, taste is in that mix, you know, that you can notice change into like in like food sources. You know, Taurus is another sign there about their cash, so you might notice some changes in the stock market and also just in the economy in general. So just kind of something to look out for there, Aries. And then Jupiter will be retrograde from the 4th of September until the 30th of December. And this really kind of helps us adopt a more kind of practical approach towards our goals. So we've noticed that things have kind of gotten off the rail or gone off the rails, you know, just been getting a bunch of random results and things. It's like, how can we get things a little more focused and making sure that we're, building things that have more value, you know, really kind of focusing on that stability, just kind of a chance again to just kind of slow down and yeah, just have like a really solid foundation there, Aries. But let's get get another oracle on this. Thank you. What's going on here? Oh, I like that. Oh, might be taking a little time off here, Aries, because you got the fourth card of Gemini's, which is the hammock card. And with this card, this is a card of rest, relax, time off, pause, suspend, sleep, supported, meditate, inactive, recovery, find relief, vacation, waiting, suspended between two things, in limbo, and self-actualization. An energy that's coming through here, Aries, is suspended between two things. And interesting, because I feel like that maybe for some we might be getting to this point, or we may get to this point in the future where we might be kind of like weighing our options. You know, it's like, where do we want to commit our energies? Do we want to go down this route? Do we want to go down this route? And it's just like, you know, just kind of at this sort of like kind of oscillating phase. And that honestly would make a lot of sense, with considering too that your ruler is in Libra, because one of the more trickier aspects of Libra is that because they do weigh all of the options, that can lead to that indecisive type of fence sitting type of energy. So if you do find yourself kind of teetering back and forth, this could be an energy where we again maybe talk with one of these nights or something along those lines, and figure out where our there's kind of like weighing, it's like for some it's like weighing the pros and cons between, like, you know, what actions do we want to take next or something along those lines. But and if this is not something that I feel like we don't, if we're not maybe in a state where we want to share this idea, or however that may be looking, then taking a moment to just kind of be with yourself and just kind of do some meditation and really kind of contemplate, you know, where does your heart want you to go? Where do you feel that you would produce the best results, or something like that, Aries. It's and it's not, and here's the thing too, I feel like, because sometimes I feel that decisions can be where it is nice to have all these decisions. Just thinking with the, you know, the Seven of Cups being here, it is nice to have all that stuff, but sometimes decisions can be the death of just like, you know, really kind of achieving your world, because it's like you can see the opportunities in all this stuff. And you know, when we're thinking about working towards like our like Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, legacy, happy home, things along those lines, considering it'd be different if we had just like thousands of years to really kind of achieve all the stuff that we really want to do, Aries. But considering you have kind of like a finite amount of time on this realm here, this does and it's not meant to limit you, but it's just like what makes sense at this moment. You know, where are the energies guiding you right now? Really kind of tuning into that. What is truthfully speaking to you, even if it doesn't seem like the easiest route to go. But I feel that it would, whatever it this is trying to take you, it would be the most rewarding. Because again, where the Six of Wands is a card of victory, sure, but you know, it's one thing to talk about the victory, or you know, one thing to be in the victory, but it's just like it's, in order to get to that sense of victory, there has to be challenges along the way. This is just something to think about for some, but let me get some tarot on this and get some details. More choices. I like that. Syncing up with the energies though here, Aries. Thank you. Alright, Aries, let's see what's going on here. Oh, interesting. Okay, so you clarity because you got the Lovers, the King, husband and wife, King of Swords and Queen of Swords, and then you have the Nine of Wands here. And let's start with, since you got Gemini energy here, let's talk about the Lovers, because I feel that for some that there's a choice that is going to need to be made, that if we stay in this state of oscillating, then that's just going to, I feel like, eventually lead to this energy of just kind of burnout. It's really going to kind of drain our vitality in a way. And you know, I feel like too, considering we were talking about the random results and all of that, and that you know, maybe for some it's like we want to bring this energy of change, that just if we've, because honestly, with the King and Queen of Swords here, it feels like that deep down, if we were to really kind of ask ourselves where we want to go in on this journey, and really be just kind of, because I'm getting a strong sense of honesty here that's kind of coming through with the King and Queen of Swords, and even how you got the Seven of Swords here, because that can be a card of, lying, cheating, stealing along those lines. But I feel like it's when we see the truth, you know, and I feel like too, maybe asking ourselves if we have been kind of going back and forth. It's just like, why are we going back and forth? Like, I feel like a lot of internal maybe dialogue that needs to maybe kind of happen here. Like, because the Lovers for me too can be like, whenever the Lovers pops up, this for me is kind of like your higher self kind of winking at you a little bit, just like, hey, what's going on, Aries? How we been doing? Are we feeling well? You know, like where we at on this journey? And I feel like if we were to really kind of just kind of ask ourselves, that things would flow a lot smoother. But I feel that if we're, especially if we've been just sort of kind of all over the place, that eventually, you know, and it's not me trying to scare you or anything, but I feel that's the quickest way to end up in like a hanged man situation, where it's like going to need a moment to pause and reflect on what's going down here. It's just like, you know, and the hanged man is about bringing that new perspective and things along those lines. But I do feel that once we make that choice, that things are going to start making more sense. You know, it's just like the clarity is going to come in. This is the Queen of Swords. This is Libra energy here. But, and King of Swords. This is Gemini energy. I love all this Gemini energy that coming through here. But, and I do feel like even just saying that, like, it's just like, I feel like we may just be in our heads too much about it, you know, and it's just like taking a moment, just kind of pausing, resting, you know, and kind of really thinking about what do these next steps kind of look like. And I feel like that's going to really bring a lot of peace and things along those lines, and a lot of just a lot more clarity here in the future. Because yeah, other than the Page, you almost got the whole Swords family here. So all right, Aries. Not that you need it anymore to think about, but just something to think about. All right, let's see. Let's get I'm just gonna throw this in your people pile here since you just you gotta you do got a little bit of people here, Aries. Hmm. Okay, and something too, some little extra from higher self. Being mindful, I feel like too. Again, there's this emphasis I feel like of like how maybe people might be influencing our decisions, or or maybe trying to guide our directions. And I don't feel like it's necessarily that there's this malicious type of energy, but I feel like once you've taken everyone's opinions into account, remember that it's you who it's easy I feel like for others to say what they would do if they were in your shoes, but it's just like what are you going to do since you are in your shoes, you know what I mean? Like, all right, but I'm gonna move on from that. Let's talk about Pisces, because you got Saturn retrograde in Pisces and then Neptune as well, also retrograde. Let's talk about Neptune first, because Neptune is going to be retrograde until in Pisces until the 6th of December. And with that energy, this is about really getting a like a stronger connection with your inner self. Really connecting with that spiritual side of you, Aries, because Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces, and then the other ruler is Jupiter. But I feel that there is a very, because I had been excited about Neptune in Pisces for quite a while, and it's like now that we're in it, there's a lot of learning I feel like about ourselves that can really kind of happen here. With her being at home, and because Neptune deals with like one of the aspects is like that mystery and the unseen, the stuff hidden from us. But now she's retrograde. It's like the curtain's been lifted, and it's like now we can really kind of connect with the source and with higher selves and really kind of see the lessons that are coming through. Just, I mean, for an example, Aries, I just went through a small little lesson myself on this on that little mini vacay I was telling you about it, and it was one where you know overall I appreciated it because it did changed things a lot. It shifted things in a different. I got exactly what I wanted and what I needed as far as like what direction that I'm getting ready to take next on this journey. So I feel that it's there. There is like really kind of ask yourself these internal questions, and like where do you want to go next? Because I feel like sometimes when I feel like we're lost, we look externally to try to find these answers where all of that stuff comes from within. None of these things that are happening in this realm could have happened without us, first consulting with our internal guidance, listening to those ideas like, what if I tried this, or what if I tried that? How have I made that move? What if I talked to this person? What if I did this? All of those little ideas and like sparks of inspirations and things, they all, accumulate into this grand picture. Your world here, they've shaped your world up to this point. So a lot with Neptune Neptune there. So a lot of spiritual growth that can come from this as well. And then let's talk about Saturn in Pisces, because Saturn's going to be retrograde until the 4th of November. And with this energy, Saturn is where, yes, he can be kind of a hard ass, but he does it with love because he wants us to accomplish all that we want in life, and Pisces is like, one of the things is just like, you know, it's like asking you, it's like, what have you been doing up until this point? And if there's something that and like, have we been like focusing on our dreams and bringing the things that we want to in life? And if so, or if not, then what can we do to change that? Because because Pisces, they have a very very just very imaginative energy, and big dreams, and big Jupiter and Neptune rule. That's a lot to deal with, and to try to ground that type of stuff can be hard, but it's not impossible. It's just like, it's getting that structure in things. And I feel like maybe for some, that's where, if that random results have been kind of coming in, it's just a need to kind of ground these things a little bit more. But Also, again, another great energy of just getting in tune with your higher self, and getting in touch with spirituality, however that looks, whether this is through meditation, maybe this is through walking, maybe you're playing music, maybe you're doing art, maybe you're whatever this is looking like, just some form of just expression and things along those lines. It's just but let's get an oracle on this. Let's see what's going on here. Ooh, there's one of your cards. I like that. So you got the fourth card here. So I don't get this one that often, which is the cake card. And with this card, this is a card of celebration, ceremony, party, gathering with friends. Gathering with friends and family. Honor, remember, recognize, commemorate, graduation, anniversary, wedding, prom, birthday, and award ceremony. And the energy that's coming through here is the ceremony here, Aries. And I almost feel like for some that there is this energy of that maybe there's something that's getting ready to, like a special event or something that's getting ready to come up here soon, that's gonna maybe interesting, that's gonna kind of change up how things are going to be operating here in the future. And I'm not trying to be mysterious or anything, but it's because it might be maybe where we might be planning ourselves a trip or something like that. Maybe we're going to, but I feel like whatever this ceremony is something that is going to lead to some sort of, either some sort of opportunity, or maybe even some sort of like even like a paradigm shift or something along those lines here, Aries. But I do feel like that if you don't have something already planned, just kind of paying attention to, like, if you get invited to any sort of like wedding or anniversaries, birthdays, things, especially if we haven't, maybe we've been kind of cooped up, maybe because I get, with everything that's going down in the world, it's kind of hard to kind of get out there and things. But as it makes sense for your situation, I feel like just kind of paying attention to that, because I feel that there's, especially since you got a nice little lineup of people here, that there's something that there's a connection here. I feel, especially since you got all four of the knights here, that there's something that's going to help you get things moving, just get moving a lot faster, just get the ball rolling on something to really kind of change things in a new direction here, kind of going. Man, I'm gonna have to get back on this numerology study, because there was something special, because I'm trying to think with the, because I want to say it's like with Pythagoras, he did, like, if you had a 7, or if you had a 7 in your numerology thing, that he would automatically welcome you in his school or something along those lines. There's something with that too, and that might be something to look into, Aries. Let me get a little bit let me get some tarot on this and get some details. This could be, let's dial that back a little bit, Aries. This might even be too just a need to kind of do some rest, relaxation, just kind of get out, maybe just have yourself a party. Sometimes it don't have to be all serious and spiritual all the time. Sometimes it could just be a need to just kind of relax and do some things. But let's see what's going on here. Thank you. All right, interesting. All right, so you have the Six of Swords, and then you have the Ace of Pentacles here, Aries. And with the Six of Swords, I feel that for some, that it's like if we've been kind of stuck in a situation where it feels like it's like maybe for some it's like maybe it's been like kind of like the same old type of things, or it's just like there hasn't been maybe even like some kind of challenges or something along those lines. I feel like with the Ace of Pentacles being here, this is an opportunity to start something fresh, you know, to build a new opportunity here to I almost I almost feel like, ooh, okay, the energy that's kind of coming through is like it's like I don't know, it's like taking a chance. Like I feel like how this guy almost kind of has his hand that kind of outstretched here. It's just like, you know, Aries, we got here's the opportunity you're talking about. Do we want to give this thing a go? Like, what is like? Do you want to take this risk and kind of see where things are? You know, I don't feel like it's necessarily like again like something that's going to lead you to like it's going to be at your detriment or anything, but I do feel like that it's going to be something down the line that may be worth like that may bring about a cause for celebration, you know, to maybe kind of host a get together, you know, maybe somewhere it's just like, you know, maybe we're thinking about going to, I don't know, maybe we're moving to a different maybe moving to a different state, or maybe a different country, or maybe we're, you know, starting a business with someone. We got a partnership, or maybe we're getting into a relationship. Maybe things are getting more serious. You know, it's just with this ceremony, it's like a big step that's getting ready to happen here, and it's just the question is, do we want to take that opportunity into that thing, or do we want to, or or if we don't, then where what's the other one, you know, since we were talking about that suspended between two things, you know, maybe maybe even for some just a little, you know. And if you're making the proposal, cool. If not, you know, and this, I'm not trying to spoil any kind of surprises or anything. You may already know this, Aries, but you know, maybe we're there may be an opportunity for maybe we're this might be what's going on at your wedding here, Aries. You got this nice little cake, some champagne there. I see you. But but whatever this is, I do feel that there is an opportunity for some growth, and for, and there's, you know what, and here's the thing, it's like no matter which way that you tend to go, because that's what I feel like too sometimes, how we can get stuck in between things is because it's just like it's, oh, so it's gonna be, could it be one thing or could it be another thing, or because sometimes even things that we think are going to go great and they're going to be fantastic may flop, you know, and it may start off great and then go a completely different direction, and where, I mean, that may not help your decision at all, but I feel that it can it I feel like it's remembering that growth is going to happen regardless. You know, wisdom is going to come from this thing, especially since you got King of Queen of Swords here. There's always opportunities. If we don't get anything else from a situation, or you know, or anything from a lesson, it's the wisdom, you know, and the knowledge, and and you get this discernment in things, and all this stuff that does come from that, so that we can operate differently in the future. So, all right, guys, I think I'm gonna leave that there. Interesting energy. Let's get a little more tea, and then let's talk about Capricorn. Because Pluto is going to be retrograde in Capricorn until the 10th of October. And with this energy, this is really part of this, you know, with Pluto in, because Capricorn is about accomplishments. They're very ambitious, you know, and this is asking like part of the things is that, do we do we feel confident with the things that we've like, how do I want to put this? It's like, do we feel confident with the work that we've put in? Do we the things that we've achieved, you know, with our own, you know, energies and, you know, decisions and things, are we happy with what has come out of that, you know? do we feel that we can kind of stand on our own 2 feet, and it's not to say that you don't need people and things along the way, but it's just like, how have you, really contributed to your growth as well there, Aries? And what does success look like to you? And if we're not liking how this world has been put out, or how our world has kind of translated here based off our decisions, then what do we need to do to kind of change the direction back into where we're feeling more kind of balanced and feeling that that things are flowing well again? And on a more sort of like global type of aspect, you may notice some changes in like governments and things along those lines. Position of powers may change and stuff. So just something to kind of pay attention to there, Aries. And depending on where your placements are at, and this is going to be more so if you have Aries in like later placements around, I want to say Pluto's going to retrograde to about the 27th degree, and then it's going to start retro before he starts going forward again. This is going to be forming a square with your sign, and kind of like opposition, squares can be challenging. They bring about internal conflicts, restrictions, delays, things along those lines. But I feel like squares are kind of like towers, where it can seem like they may not feel great at first, but they're about change. And I like to say that usually higher self, I feel like, likes to keep tower moments internal, but I feel that every now and again it's like we feel that maybe we can't do something, or that there's this lack of confidence or something along those lines. So higher self kind of gives a little kick in the pants and just sort of like, you got this, let's throw this at you, and then watch how resourceful you are. That's what squares, I feel like, are meant to do, just to remind you that no matter what you're going through in life, you always can get this stuff figured out, Aries. And where, again, it may be some delays and things, the achievements will come. So, but let's get your last oracle card here. Yeah. All right, I'm with it, and that's interesting. Now that's Capricorn's opposite sign, because you got the 7th card of Cancers, which is the fairy tale card. And with this card, this is a card of believe the impossible, daydreams, romantic ending, universal archetypes, hopeful, magic, unicorns and rainbows, aspire, happily ever after, fanciful, and stories retell. And the energy that's coming through, and I like that, the energy that's coming through here is the happily ever after. And I almost feel like that it's, because I feel like that things can end up happily ever after, but it's more so the question of, what does that look like for you, because sometimes, when I'm even thinking about, when you think about, like, I'm thinking about like the fairy tale movies, like Disney's and things, where it's just, and they lived happily ever after the end. It's just like, well, that's vague. Like, like, what do you mean? Like, it can't all just be happiness all the time, and it rarely ever is. But because there has to be that balance. But I feel like and maybe that's for some, that I feel like there's a need to maybe kind of clarify again this, like, where our intentions are at. It just seems like that. Overall, the theme here with your oracle cards have been just this energy of just like it's yeah, just a need of more intention, or more decisive action, or more just kind of it just seeming just sort of like just kind of just going with it, and just sort of but I almost feel like there's a need to kind of like check in and really just asking, it's like, is this what I've pictured that looking like? And then if not, the tale's not over if we're not in that state. It's just like, if anything, that now we're at a new beginning, we're at the next chapter. Okay, 6 of Swords, where do we want to go to next? 6 of Pentacles, where do we want to pour our energies into and get back on that journey? 6 of Wands there. And 2, I don't know. I keep getting to just how you got the catalyst for change. I almost feel like that for really, depending on where you're at, like this could be something that could inspire some others as well. But I've been looking at this kind of the mask that I'm not sure if you can see that there. This mask that this character on the Six of Wands is holding, and it's just like it seems that there is this that maybe for some, I'm not sure. It's like we've maybe been trying to be someone who that we've been trying to fill all these roles of maybe other people, or maybe been trying to do some things that are not truly us. That it's like we've been trying to achieve the American dream when it's like that's someone else's dream. It's like, what is your dream? What is your, like, what does that look like for you? And then it's like I feel like once we really start asking ourselves that, then man, that's when we're really gonna start celebrating here. But let's get some tarot on this. All right, Aries. Last little bit here. Oh, look at all these people. Here you go. Woof. All right, so you got the Ten of Swords, let's see, oh, no, this is just, okay. So you got the Ten of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles here. One of your cards. And let's switch back over here, Aries. Because I feel like with this, for some, I do feel that there is, because the Queen of Wands, I feel like she really creates her story as she goes. She really lives in the moment. And I feel like it's like finding this balance of, I don't know, it's like, I feel like it's, I almost feel like that it's like the more that we kind of really follow our hearts and really kind of ask ourselves, where do you want to go with life? Where do you see things going here? This is that you're gonna to create these resources here that are gonna come through. And I feel like just more, again, more opportunities are gonna come through for you, but I really kind of think too that just again with your ruler being in Libra for the next little over a month maybe, that not little, yeah, a little over a month or so, that your connections with people I feel like are going to be kind of key. I think that these relationships are going to really kind of be a real kind of deciding factor as far as like where you're going to be going on your journey next. Is very kind of interesting energy here. And with the Ten of Swords, and that's interesting. I feel like it's where I do feel there are going to be some very beneficial relationships that are going to be made. There is a reminder too that there may not always be. And again, it's not that people are have ill will towards you or anything along those lines, but we're never quite sure where people are at on their journeys. There's different things that are going down. So I do feel like there is going to need to be a level of discernment when it comes to your relationships with others and things like that. So just considering, because of the signs that I've done, you've racked up the most people so far. And I do feel that just kind of thinking on a more, because the death card is Scorpio energy, and it's like after it's forming those bonds with Libra, Scorpio takes it to that next level, it takes things to a deeper level. And so yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of learning that I feel like from learning about yourself, maybe through others during this little period of time. This is probably over this next month, but definitely I feel like while Mars is going to be in Libra, I feel like there's going to be some, so just pay attention to that type of stuff, Aries. And before we maybe even make some moves and things for about committing, you know, really kind of think about where weigh the pros and cons. And you know, if you need someone to as a sounding board to maybe see it from a different perspective that you may not have seen, just so that you got all your bases covered, you know, someone that you really trust, I say do that. But I will say, too, because the Ten of Swords can be very intense. I mean, this guy's, you know, got swords all up in him. But and sometimes I feel that, you know, relationships and things, they can be kind of tough when you're dealing with these people and things. But even the more even the not so great relationships that we form or that kind of come through our lives, they're meant to teach us something too. And if we don't get anything else, we get wisdom. We learn what we don't like and what we won't tolerate from people, whether that be friends, family, lovers, otherwise. You know, it does. There can be very powerful lessons for that, and it can really kind of help raise you up. So, I think I'm gonna leave that there, Aries. So, just something to think about there. But if you like that, Aries, give it a thumbs up and share this. You know, because this is a lot to think about here. You know, yeah, because this energy really was just sort of we covered a pretty wide range of things here, Aries. And then if you haven't already, tell all these people that you might meet here, Aries. Man, to subscribe, hit that bell button, and you get notified on all these videos each week. And then last little thing, if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, come on over to the Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping, down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here so I can get you out of here. Interesting. Okay? And I like that too. Like it's got a little chills there, because you got the Five of Cups, and it made me a little sad there, Aries, because the Five of Cups can be like a card of disappointment and things. And you know, I feel like that there are going to be, and there always will be, there will be times where a certain situation or a certain person or something may let us down, or we may even feel that we might have let ourselves down from time to time, you know, where we knew something wasn't going to be right, but then you still just kind of go see anyway. And then, and it can feel like maybe like an opportunity or something. I don't know if you can see how the water's kind of slipping through her hands. You know, we can maybe feel like that something is that may have maybe we've wasted time, or that we're something along those lines. But it's all in divine timing here, Aries. And I almost feel like, because you really didn't get a lot of majors here, considering. And I feel like that it's more so kind of like higher self is just sort of kind of taking a step back and just kind of cooking up some stuff and just kind of seeing how you're navigating this space right now. I really feel like you're in and it's not like you don't have any kind of free will. You always got free will, Aries. But I feel that that there is going to be a more of a, I feel like these connections with others is going to strengthen this connection with yourself as well. I feel like there's going to be a lot of learning here that's going to be going down. But let me get your oracle card. Ooh, yeah, that's what I figured. Because you got the Serpent card up right here, Aries. And with this card, this is oh, look at me hissing like a snake. No, so with this Serpent card, this so that was weird, but I do feel like that maybe for some that there is this something's cooking. I like trying to put my finger on it, but it's, how do I want to put this? I really feel like there's going to be a need to, and maybe the reason that there isn't a lot of the majors coming through is that there is more so it's not that we've been blocking out your spirituality per se, but it's more so that I feel like it's that we've kind of let, I don't know, it's like we've kind of let others kind of guide like where we can kind of go or something, like to control the flow at which things are been going. And I feel there is a need to kind of, I don't know, kind of go against that, to be maybe just for some, if you've been kind of, if that's been something that's resonating with you, to kind of go and sort of do your own type of thing, you know, make your own kind of group of friends and do like your own, form your own type of bonds that are just yours, you know, like maybe we've always been, you know, like maybe we've been introduced, it's like maybe we've been like introduced by others, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's how we meet people, but it's just more so like I feel like it's you who's needing to go out and kind of be a little more bold and be a little more kind of charismatic, and not say you aren't Aries, but really kind of being in that energy, you know, really kind of having this confidence to, I don't know, formulate some new just bonds that aren't associated with others, you know, like that's the energy that's kind of coming through with here, this with this serpent energy. And I also kind of feel, considering too, you got that catalyst for change, you know, just something with there's an energy here that's I mean, this, and it may seem a little, you know, I got a lot of Leo, so I might over exaggerate a little bit, but I mean, with the death card, the world, the lovers, if you want to, you know, I feel like you can change a lot of people's lives here, Aries, you know, depending on, it may be for this Five of Cups, maybe we're worried about disappointing others or something along those lines. But I feel that the fact that you care that much, let that fuel you more, you know, and let that be, I like that. So, oh, Aries, I'm gonna keep you. But apparently, I'm gonna keep you here a long time. Let me get you out of here. So, wowza, you stay safe out there with all these people, and yeah, this energy was something else here, Aries. Yeah, I didn't mean to keep you that long, and you raise your vibration through the roof. Really, yeah, because this was a very fascinating reading, and I will catch you. Let me get you out of here on the next one. Later.